Alright, what's going on, guys? Bray here, bringing us another live stream. We are back on the Ultimate Zombies Challenge series, where today we are doing something, well, not really doing anything today. We are doing a recap stream. We have finished Black Ops 1 Zombies, and with it concludes 6 more maps, technically 7 if you consider or count Dead Ops Arcade. But 6 maps are done. 10 maps total are completed and done in the grand scheme of challenges. And obviously we did this with our World at War maps as well, where we had a quick brief stream about kind of what's going on with them. And this is kind of where we, I guess, will start what we're doing. We're going to be going through each kind of map. Obviously, we are playing Black Ops 3, so we will not be touching like 5 or Call of the Dead, things like those maps. But we will be playing this, probably not Shang, Ascension, and potentially Moon again. We might play Shangri-La. We might, very briefly. But we're just going to be going over the map, re-detailing the scores on it. While we play Kino, we'll also touch on 5 more than likely, and then Ascension will also touch on Call of the Dead, and we'll probably use Moon as to talk about Shangri-La briefly, and then as well as talk about Moon. And that will conclude the stream, really, as we kind of prepare ourselves for Black Ops 6, which comes out shortly, really. So, with all that being said, let's finish off these zombies, and let's get a max ammo, and now let's talk. Kino. Kino de Toten is basic? Is that, I mean, I guess that would be the right word for it. It's plain, other than with Black Ops 3, it kind of gives it some kind of color to it. But ultimately, it's boring. You know, a lot of things that they try to use, you know, color or something like that with, it really fails. It's not a color. It's really everywhere feels the same. This feels the same as if I went left. It's the same as the place before it. And other than just obviously the structure part of things and layout, it feels the same. And with that, again, if you guys already kind of know about the maps and stuff, every map did get a score. It's out of 100. Well, technically, it's 3 categories out of 100. So there's 300 possible points for every map. Which was 1400, of course. So Kino got 136 out of that 300. Meaning it got a little over 1/3 of the points, pretty much. Which is not great. I mean, definitely it wasn't half of it. Maybe, or what was it? 45%? Is that the right number? Yeah, 45% of the points Kino managed to grab. Which again is not that good. Zombie coming out of there? No. Alright, that's end run. There we go. So yeah, it's not good how Kino held up. These 3 categories though were broken down into, well, each category was broken down into 3 different things. This was atmosphere and Easter egg, gameplay, and the challenges / the overall fun we had with the map while we attempted these challenges. Only one map, which we got to here, the challenges actually hurt the initial gameplay of the map. We're not talking about every other map. We are strictly talking about Kino. So Kino, when it comes to atmosphere, got a 46 out of 100. Now, obviously, there is no Easter egg with it. Easter eggs don't necessarily improve a map, but they do make a different category or different portion of the atmosphere that we do grade as the same as the atmosphere in general. Because you can have an Easter egg and it just not make any sense at all, and it could actually hurt the map, or the Easter egg feels just repetitive and boring, and again, that could just hurt the map. So with all of that being said, we're going to turn up power as well. Ooh, ICR. I was thinking about buying this actually from the wall. I don't know. I wonder what happened if I would have bought it and it just ran over there. Like, let me pick it up. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what would happen if that I chose to do that. Jeez. No idea where that dog spawned from, but whatever. So with Kino, why does it get literally the second? It got the second lowest score in this category, and you might be like, well, it's kind of like just like the Reese, only it's easier. So why is that? Right, the Reese, like, okay, this is decent, right? Now I want you to picture Black Ops 1 though. Black Ops 1 Kino is ugly. Like, instead of all of that, all of this, you have nastiness. It's just gray. It's dull. It's terrible. Is honestly what it is. The color scheme in Kino is bad, and it doesn't, honestly, I don't really see it as an improvement on Black Ops 3, because again, they changed kind of the colors around the map, but they did it in every room, so every room once again feels the same. This, you get greens, purples, yellows. You still have that gray. In here, you still have the greens, the grays, the yellows. In here, you have the greens, the yellows, the purples, the reds. I mean, like, it's literally, it's the same thing, just in a different portion of the map. And everywhere else is very forgettable.
Fuck me, that smells.
Yeah. Focus up a little bit. Jeez. Where did you come from, zombie? Hate when they do that. So again, you just, and here we're even gonna go this way because we're gonna grab double tap. Feels just like the other room. This is the only room that feels different because you're actually outside, and it's literally just a.
Why is this stuff so damn?
If there was
chewy?
something cooler about it, other than the fact it's a alley, like if they actually would have made it like the best spot in the map or something like that, then I could see there being like instead of the stage being like the go-to training area, if that was like the best spot, then I could see the I could see the outdoor piece actually being worth in the map. but I can't see it. So that's why Kino got a 46, right? Also, welcome to the stream. Well, MP40.
Rapid fire.
Of course we get the MP40, right? Because it's Kino. Why wouldn't you get the MP40 on this map? It's literally like the only weapon people use on it. So why wouldn't we get it? But we go on to the next category where we had the gameplay of Kino, right? And again, most people, if you saw the streams and stuff, you know what these... We ranted about these before, all that stuff on our very first Kino game or Kino playthrough. We ranked all of these, right? And then afterwards we revised them. Well, honestly, we haven't changed any of our initial thoughts on the game. Where's this last zombie? Stupid last zombie. Stupid last zombie. I guess we can maybe get Jug. I don't even want Jug. I maybe want to pack punch. But we gave... So Kino got a 42 on its gameplay out of 100. And I think... Does easiness interfere with that? Yes, and so does laziness. Kino did, like... business sense-wise, was a beautiful idea for them because they didn't have to go all out with an Easter egg. Like, they really just made an easy, understandable map for new people that bought Black Ops 1. Business decision-wise, great. I mean, like, anyone can understand Kino. New players, old players, whatever it is, right? The issue becomes, do we want to play it ever again? Right, and the answer to that is almost always no, unless you're doing a challenge, which isn't really fun, to be honest.
That's the ticket.
Kino is not. It gets boring. It's round 9. I'm already bored. Like, I'm not even fully set up yet. And Kino is a map that bores me. And I feel like that's an issue. Like, that's an issue when you literally are bored of a map before you're really done with the map, you know? And, like, and that I think that just proves my standpoint on where we rank it. So, the final category was the challenge, like, after we did all the challenges on the map, and then the total, let me back up here for a sec. The final, well, I don't know how we missed all those. The final category was the challenges that we did on the map, and just how fun the map really was when we did these challenges. Normally the challenges should enhance the gameplay, so at very least, normally it'll be the same gameplay score, plus some extra points depending on how much fun and expansion the challenges gave the map. Again, the whole point of this series was to stretch out, kind of stretch out the map as much as possible to see how much kind of content you can get out of a map if you were to play it forever, right? If Kino was the map that, you know, someone said, I want to play this map forever, this is what you're dealing with. I highly do not recommend doing that because of how boring it is. However, we gave, after all that, we did, I think, probably the most challenges on Kino because of how, I wouldn't even say different isn't the right word for it, but just kind of how easy it is, how kind of straightforward it is. There's nothing too crazy. We did a lot of challenges on Kino.
Lock 'em out.
Where is this last zombie dude? Where are you? Zombie? That's not that zombie. Last zombie. Where's the last zombie, bro? Stupid last zombie. So with all that being said, Kino, after all the challenges, only got a 48. So again, we gave it the 42 of its initial gameplay, and we pretty much said if you did a challenge on Kino, it made it better by 6 points. Which, again, the challenges on there, we had some difficult challenges for Kino, but it played about the same as usual, in all honesty. Where, again, you did a challenge and you kind of felt yourself being done with the map. Like, you didn't really need to do anything else. Which, again, I agree with. Can we get the ray gun or something? Something cool?
My new gun.
So, that's Kino. That's Kino in a nutshell. Again, 136 points out of 300 throughout the entire challenge. It was, in Black Ops 3 terms, or sorry, not Black Ops 3, Black Ops 1 terms only, it is the third worst map in that, but it's also ranked number 4 out of 6 in Black Ops 1. Okay, so we are not gonna stop this playing Kino right now, because now we're going to move on to 5. Okay, 5. Again, this is just a little recap of what our initial thoughts. Anything else we want to add to maybe our content here, and then we'll also get into kind of what's coming next with everything as well. So when talking about 5 now, and we'll retro back to Kino when we kind of make some of our points, especially when it comes to the rankings and numbers and all that too. Okay. Also, welcome to the stream, everyone. If you're in the stream, don't feel bad to say, or don't be shy to say hi. If you know what I mean. But on to 5. So 5, just like Kino, 3 categories: atmosphere, Easter egg, gameplay, and then the challenges / fun of the challenges scored. Right, all out of each category is out of 100 for 5. The atmosphere and Easter egg, the highest we've had in. Right? Is it the highest that we? Yeah, highest we've had in Black Ops 1.
Everything must go.
I mean, you're the presidents in the Pentagon. Every floor is different and feels so different. I mean, great atmosphere. Like, I mean, you just talk about something that works for as far as atmospherically and all that. I mean, that's literally, that would be it. 5 does a grand old job setting the scene and atmosphere and everything like that when it comes to that. A 98. I don't even know if we said the actual score on that. 98 is what we gave the score. 4-5. Again, highest in Black Ops 1 when it comes down to it. I know it doesn't have an Easter egg, but again, the idea of the map is something I wish Call of Duty did a little bit more. Because how many events would, like, a zombie apocalypse disrupt, right? We don't see something else that kind of makes sense like this until Call of the Dead, where it's like, oh yeah, people would be probably trying to make a movie out of this, and
We are keeping score.
You know, but it wouldn't obviously be with our characters. You know, but instead a alternative cast, right? Which is why Call of the Dead also ranked pretty high in this category. When we get to that, we'll talk about it. Gotta get trip mines. Yeah, take that, zombie. Fun thing to do with trip mines there. Anyway, 5, so 89 right there. But then from there, it kind of tanks a little bit. When we get into the initial gameplay of it, it tanks down to a 43. And some people will disagree with this because there are some 5 lovers out there. Personally, this is the big reason, or my big issue with 5, is the Pentagon Thief. If playing solo, you need the Mustang and Sally's to deal with. It's not a boss that really can bring whatever you want to and deal with. Instead, it's a boss that you have to prepare for and then deal with, right? Making, again, Mustang and Sally's are fun to play with, don't get me wrong, but do I always want to play with them? No, I don't. And yes, you could say, well, you have Mule Kick. I don't always want Mule Kick either. You know, so it's like, I don't know, I have an issue when it comes to that with 5. Pentagon Thief, in general, I have an issue with. Because why are you stealing my weapon? I like the reward for it, but I also don't like the alternative, if that makes sense. Like, it shouldn't be I lose a weapon or I can pack a weapon for very cheap. That's not a trade-off. Because then what? I pack that weapon and then you can just steal it anyway? Like, it doesn't make much sense. The map is also pretty difficult when it comes down to if you do have another player. Good luck training or anything like that. Top floor is garbage unless you're like an all-pro out there. And then middle, obviously you have the train around the whole middle part, which I will admit is pretty fun and challenging. And then you have the bottom floor, which is literally a just do not enter zone. Another big reason why 5 got a high atmosphere score was that bottom floor, because that bottom floor literally is super creepy. And can I run, please? Guy just does not want to sprint right now. I hate when that happens. Where was I at here? Get them real quick. Okay. So, again, 5, just like Kino, it actually got 1 point higher than Kino because I did enjoy it more than Kino. Very slightly. But, again, I think this was also me playing by that rule of using Mustang and Sally and, you know, so I can deal with the Pentagon Thief and all that. But by playing in that way, you kind of get bored because now the one thing that was kind of, I guess, difficult is now the thing that becomes just easy and you don't really need anymore. Come on. We get one more hit. Thank you. Thank you, kind sir. Box looks trash. Dressing room. Wow, very good box luck though today. Why can't we get this like any other time?
Can't wait to see what I can do with this.
Maybe just run with the Shiva.
I hope they're ready to get a gut full of slugs.
What is this box? I don't even know what we're really hoping to get out of the box, but very, very trash. Very, very trash box luck right now.
Rapid fire sweetness.
Can we get some luck here in the chat? Stupid zombie. We're moving on with 5. Moving on. After all challenges, again, I think the most I had fun with was the Pack-a-Punch challenge on 5. Mostly because that's like the challenge I actually remember being pretty solid on that map. But it was still a memorable experience. I'll give it that. But honestly, that was kind of about it. Everything else, just like Kino, played kind of similarly. Was annoying that I did have to get the Mustang and Sally still on all the challenges just to kind of prepare for Pentagon Thief, even though it didn't necessarily line up with the challenges all the time. You know, it's just one of those annoying things that I'm just like, I'd rather go against the challenge than this thing be an annoyance to the challenge, if that makes sense. So with that all being said, where did the box move to? Lobby. I thought I heard another zombie, that's why I took him out. I guess I was right. So 5 got a 46.
Can't wait to see what I can do with this.
Literally just 3 more points.
Yo, zombie!
Sure.
Wanna try out my new gun?
We'll pack it just for the lulz of the MP40, like always getting Pack-a-Punch on Kino. Why not? Why not, right? Let's chuck this in here. So 5, mostly because of its atmosphere, and obviously again doesn't have any Easter egg, but mostly because of its atmosphere, had about 40 points higher than Kino, at 178 points compared to Kino's 136. And I believe this. I would rather play 5 for the experience of playing at, like, in the Pentagon and all that stuff. Can I grab that? Thank you. You also get a death machine. Woogie, woogie, woogie. But where is the last zombie? Silly zombie, tricks are for kids. So 5, 59% of the points they were able to get. 5 was also the 3rd. Let me make sure I'm saying yes. 3rd map, or yes, 3rd out of 6 maps in Black Ops 1 ranked, meaning there was 2 more maps higher than it. You can probably guess which ones they were. Anyway, we move on. Do we tackle Ascension here? I feel like what here. Let's maybe go like one more round with just using this. We'll talk a little bit more about these maps real quick. So both maps, being Kino and 5, were on disc maps. Obviously with 5 you either had to beat the campaign or go ahead and type in the 3 arc space unlock to instant unlock it. But both on this map played totally different, but it was mostly the kind of experience you wanted. Did you want a cooler experience, but yes, difficult unless you played a certain way. And forget playing with friends as well on 5, because again, just a terrible experience. Once you get in higher rounds, meaning. Ooh, insta-carry. Maybe we'll go one more. Well, we might go one more round.
Oh yeah,
and then, like, so you get a just crazy experience on 5, and then you have this experience, where we can literally talk about 2 whole maps, barely really pay attention to what's going on, hit the box a million times on board before we don't even have 4 perks. We'll go ahead and just hit this, I guess, for our 4th perk. Take whatever it is, because it doesn't matter what it is, because either way it's Kino, so it doesn't matter. It'll help us very slightly. Do we need the help? Not really. Maybe we do need help. Maybe we do. Maybe we do need the help. Wow. Where's my guy aiming?
A little lucky. What?
Anyway, what we're gonna do? Just because I'm kind of curious. How good are trip mines? Wow. Decent. Better than I thought, honestly. Was not expecting trip mines to do that much damage. Not even damage, take out that much. But yeah, between 5 Kino, both, I think, subpar maps, in all honesty.
I'm gonna run out of zombies.
I don't think either one, they are what I would consider a one and done kind of maps, where I would play it once and then probably be done with it. Understand what the map is, do whatever it is I want to do on it, be done. Or experience the one bad thing. I'm just trying to get a there we go. Whatever. I was just trying to get another liquid divinium, but it's fine. Both maps, again, between... I know I didn't mention we were going to... Or I didn't say that we were going to... Or I should say, I know I mentioned we weren't going to really bring World at War maps into discussion with us, but just for comparison, both maps are below all World at War maps. So, again, World at War... I would still rather have those maps rather than Kino or 5. That's just where it's at with it. We're gonna boot up Ascension here. Let's take a little water break here. But we move on to Ascension, and it doesn't get better, right? In all honesty, the only thing it did better on was in one category, in a category that I was shocked that it actually did well with. Ascension suffers from a lot of things bad. People like to maybe point out, oh, the atmosphere is amazing. It's not. First of all, you start off with this, right? You start off...
Auxiliary power activated.
Like, there's so many things wrong with this.
There's no power or no color.
Like, yeah, so you start off with no color is one thing.
The mechanism must be repaired. Usually the voices sound so angry.
Yeah, so what, did all the zombies spawn up top of them? Wow, I think they really did. So... Ascension really suffers from easiness. And again, should that be something that goes against it? right? I know this is always a thing of, like, you can't hold that against it for being easy. You kind of can. But it takes directly after Kino when it comes down to everything feels the same. Is, yes, you have, you know, wall art, stuff like that. I get it. It's, you know, just a space compound thing. But everything feels the same. Inside-wise, there's no, like, yes, there's place, like, things to reference in places, meaning, like, Jug or Speed Cola, whatever it might be, or the Landers, but in all honesty, all those things feel like the same spot. And it doesn't, like, it doesn't get better when you go to that side of the map either, because it all, again, just feels like a swampy place. Like, and that doesn't make it good, right? And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, well, what about the rocket? Like, that has to be something. It's, again, it's all the way over there. And yes, I have to turn on power for it. But why wouldn't it be, like, dead center of the map? I mentioned this before, when we were, like, actually doing the challenge and stuff, is I could understand the hype for the map, and it would boost the atmosphere score of this map insanely if the rocket was just placed in a better spot. And also, the event of it launching is really cool, do not get me wrong. But then once it's gone, and even if you blow it up, you get a random drop, and that's it. Like, we just came from 5 that you can get a bonfire sale. That would make so much more sense if you blew up a rocket. Make it a little harder, maybe. But you blow up the rocket and you get a bonfire sale? You know how awesome that would be? Because it's right next to Pack-a-Punch as well. That would make it an actual, like, thing of, oh, I want to make sure I'm set up before I turn on power so I can try getting this, right? Or it's only with the ray gun, so you have to be extremely lucky to even get that, what is it? Like that, achievement? I don't even know what you want to call it. But it's also the point of how the rocket charges, is I don't really understand the fact that you need the landers in order to do that. Again, maybe it's just like I'm just being dumb or something with it. Like, I get it. I guess it burns fuel and stuff like that. And I don't know. But I don't get the connection with it. And then on top of that, you have the monkeys, which is just a bad thing as well, for everything. But Ascension gets the worst atmosphere score of all time, or as all zombies right now, between Black Ops 1 and World at War, with a 42. Again, it's black and white. It's, even when colors are on, it's not a great map. A lot of places are forgettable, except for, like, reference points, like, oh, PhD's up here. Cool. You really, there's really nothing great about this map that I would say, oh, this map deserves a higher atmosphere score. You're playing as a regular crew, and yes, did you consider the Easter egg? Yes, it's an Easter egg that really no one cares about. But that's how good the Easter egg is. I've gone my entire life without doing the Ascension Easter egg. That's how much I care about doing the Easter egg. It's not necessarily the fact that it's like, oh, it's because it doesn't have an achievement to it. It has nothing to do with that. It's more so the fact it's pointless. You don't get anything for it. Or, I'm sorry, you get a death machine. You're right. But you don't get anything for it. You know, like... It's not a thing that I would consider... I wouldn't say really worth my time. I don't know if that's the right word or phrase. Wow, we got the Mark II again, boys.
Nice try, but I win.
Almost done right there.
Again, the doctor is victorious.
Oh, hey, let's see the amazing color. So it goes from gray to, oh yeah, this looks familiar. Red, blue, yellows, greens. Oh, is this Kino again? That's what it looks like. We're back at Kino, boys, only with a little brighter colors, I guess. Oh, but you get cool little water pixels with some cool things like that. So must be a 10 out of 10 map, right? It's in fact not a 10 out of 10 map. We get into the gameplay, and again, just like the atmosphere, the gameplay is very subpar. I think, here's my honest opinion about this. You take out, or zombie, you take out monkeys, and this map becomes better than Kino. Like, if you just make this a regular playstyle map, this map would be better than Kino. Well, I believe that. And the biggest point with that is... Sorry, ouch.
I could fit them in my pocket.
Stupid zombies. Oh, I finally see the rocket. Ain't that cool? Isn't that neat? Yeah, the gameplay for it is just not good. This, and again, the assuming the last zombie is gonna be coming up the stairs. Yep. Sorry, zombie. Tricks are for kids. The gameplay is just not good. And it's mostly, again, when I think of gameplay, I think of setting up, right? You get perks, you get guns, you get pack-a-punch, all those things, you know, they all kind of connect with each other in some way, shape, or form, right? Ascension puts a halt on the perk process because of monkeys. And I would say it goes as far as to say it discourages that whole point of it. And for zombies, and also this map, for this map introducing 2 perks as well, that is not a good idea to make what is it? To make a system of a boss zombie that takes away your perk. It doesn't even hit you and takes away your perks. It goes to the perk machines. With all that being said, Ascension once again gets the lowest. I'm sorry, not the lowest, because we have a worse one. The second lowest gameplay score at 35.
13255 received. Performing integrity check.
35. That is where this is at. I think it's too high, to be completely honest. But, again, that's just me. We get into the actual challenges of the map, and this is where things turn, right? Is this map gets a huge prop, honestly.
Face or chest? Too late. Face.
Because of how many doors there are, because of the expansiveness of the map, a lot of challenges took on a different kind of challenge with it, if that makes sense. To the point where I actually failed. I think it was the Gobblegum challenge, if I'm not mistaken. Because of the difficulty of this map. When it comes to denying the player easy progression or progressing when I wanted to, I guess would be the better term for it. Is it made an actual difficult and challenging experience that I honestly enjoyed and liked seeing for Ascension. Ascension then would get a 50 for that, giving it a massive total, and the second lowest total of 127. A few points lower than Kino, and then another Kino was obviously a few points lower than 5. So it trickled down. So in all honesty, when you take a look at everything, you had 3 maps, right? I just want to make sure I have this right. We had 3 maps, and technically, at the time, they were the worst maps. We had the 3 worst maps given to us from the launch of Black Ops 1 as well as DLC 1. Again, disagree with me with you want all that stuff. These are the facts. These are the rankings. We are just telling you what it is. Recapping what it was. So, this is what we were standing, right? All this stuff. All this terrible stuff, honestly. But then, we're transitioning now to a map that took a little bit of things from, I think, everything, or every map that we just talked about, made it better, and produced something that I would actually call a good zombies experience. And that is Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead is, I thought it was maybe nostalgia. Some people, you know, when they talk about Call of the Dead, they mention how good it is, all this stuff. They mention, oh, well, the fog brings it down, all that stuff. And when I was playing it, yes, the fog is somewhat annoying. Yes, George is somewhat annoying. But could I play the map, right? When it comes down to it, like, a map like Transit, for instance, truly halts your experience because of kind of the unwanted, like, denizens. You obviously have a fog that, like, you can't see yourself, or like, you can't see anything out of, nor you can't see the zombies either, really. So it makes for a very tough time to really deal with any of that. And then nice. And we also get a little double points as well. So wunderbar. So Call of the Dead. Right. What do I mean when I say that this map took a little bit of everything, made it better, and gave us an actual good zombie experience, right? What do I truly mean by that? Well, we start with the atmosphere and Easter egg. And to the point where I would say it's one of the better Easter eggs I think we've ever seen, and I wish more maps did it like this. A lot of the steps in there are difficult to understand initially at launch or whatever, but if understood or have a little cheat sheet with, a player can replicate relatively easy to, in some cases, still with a slight difficulty, right? And none other than the dial step in Call of the Dead is a prime example of it. Something kind of similar to the Valve step in Goran Krovi. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I think we want as a zombies community, and I hope we get something like this for Black Ops 6. Is something that not necessarily is a giant collectathon, or I'm okay with collectathons. Don't get me wrong, but do I need that?
4, 3, 2, 1. Warning. Launch in progress.
I thought that was coming right at me. Oh my goodness.
Shut up, I must concentrate.
I honestly had no idea why I freaked out right there. Anyway. Hold on. Let's get some Pack-a-Punch going here.
Oh, it's so shiny.
That would have been awful if that's how this ended. So Call of the Dead, great atmosphere. We understand in Siberia, all that stuff, but the places make so much more sense. Is you have boat 1, kind of back boat, lighthouse, spawn, underpath heading back to spawn from boat. Like, most of these maps, bottom of lighthouse, back of lighthouse, you had so many points of reference that wasn't necessarily, oh, I'm by PhD. You know, like, yes, you had those kind of points of reference. Like, you could say, oh, I'm by stamina, or whatever it might be. Which, if you were, that's where you would call out. Or if you were actually just behind the lighthouse, you would say behind the lighthouse. Past the ice slide, or down by the ice slide. Or by speed call. Like, you had so many good points of references. That it was really nice to be able to actually enjoy the map, right? Places look different. The ship looked different, even though the colors looked the same. The colors don't necessarily matter, if that makes sense. Is how does it look, right? You compare maps like Kino, yes, you have the dressing room, but the colors and how it's presented matter. And when you're going through a ship that's in Siberia that's completely abandoned, you don't really expect anything else in there. And you don't expect it to be widely colorful or things to be in order, if that makes sense. For instance, here, I would expect there to be... maybe that's what this is. I mean, I guess that's a little watch cabin thingy for it. But I would expect there to be a little bit more, like, I guess, I don't know, documents are the right words for it, but just kind of things around the lander that make it look more presentable. You know, like, it just looks like someone... Oh, I did not see that zombie at all. But we carry on here. We move to, again, Call of the Dead, which we're going to talk about here. But we're going to talk about its atmosphere and Easter egg. And as we mentioned, things are different in that. Great Easter egg, all that good stuff. George represents a nice little presence that's always with you, but looking back at it, you can take care of him pretty easily. Yes, it's a pain, I guess you would call it, but it's not like a pain that is unbearing or unbearable. You know, like he's manageable. He sometimes is in your way, but for the most part, he just kind of you can kind of manipulate him, like in a way decently. Like there's no. I wouldn't say I feel like I'm always trapped by George. Right? Yes, sometimes he's in the way. He's going to do that. Be a walk around, follow you kind of boss. Is it sometimes annoying? Yes, he's a walk around, follow you kind of boss. Right? That's just how, like, I would expect that from George. You know, like, there's not much else to him, right? Like, it's not as though he's not a panzer, like, that's what his job is to do. Come on. Well, I want to try getting double tap. Thank you very much. That way we can end the rounds just a tad bit faster. We don't even want that. So it's called Dead. Ended up getting an 86 out of 100 for its atmosphere and Easter egg. Very good. Very good, right? Still less than 5, but ultimately, I feel like it did a great job. And honestly, I would argue I honestly lowballed it too much. Like, I feel like I didn't really give a great score for Call of the Dead, really looking at it now. But, again, it is what it is. We live with the decision. How many more zombies are there? The last zombie just gets burnt, dude. Unbelievable. In terms of gameplay, again, I think it's the best map that we've seen in Black Ops 1 and would turn out to be the best gameplay for Black Ops 1. And we gave it a 68 for this. In reference, it's the 3rd best gameplay across all of zombies so far that we've ranked. 3 out of 10. Like, I think that's pretty manageable, I would say. Or, like, pretty good. If I were Call of the Dead. Again, I think there are certain gives and takes to the map that I think as a player you have to kind of understand and deal with that are sometimes annoying and do take away some points from the map, but ultimately it is kind of what it is. Just wanted to throw a couple nades out there. So Call of the Dead already almost pretty much beating 5 in just 2 categories. But we get into the challenge and overall fun of the map after doing all the challenges, and it gets a 74. Again, a +6 from its original gameplay. I felt like things that I had to use George for. Again, the Easter egg for it. All things that I just think were an actual fun thing to do on the map. I never felt like on a one-box challenge or something like that, I needed this scavenger, I needed this, whatever it might be, is you felt okay with the map, because of, I mean, Black Ops 1 just, the weapons kind of suck in a way, but, and I think we ended up needing Jug anyway, right? Or, I mean, the knife-only challenge was another one that was just extremely difficult, being Black Ops 1, but it had the sickle and what was it called? Not the bowie knife, but, ballistic knife, so I felt like we had to do it. And we did have some tweaks on that, but, you know, ultimately we ended up finally getting it, and, you know, I think it worked very well in the challenge. So, like, you know, you had all those kind of things with it. So I got 74, giving it a 228 out of 300, boys. So not only is this the best, spoiler alert, it's the best Black Ops 1 map, but also, in terms of all other maps that we did, it's the second best. The second best. And only the fourth map, only map to get in Black Ops 1 to get over 200 points in this whole thing. So regarding that, this shows you kind of what we're dealing with when it comes to Black Ops 1 zombies. Is honestly just not a good time. Black Ops 1 has so much things that I think turn off players. There are obviously some good and enlightening things about it, but not really. And it's not until literally DLC 2 of Call of the Dead that we actually, I think, get a map that lives up to what we, I think, all wanted in Black Ops 1, but many people, again, did not. So there are some people out there that still have yet to play Call of the Dead. So the best map in Black Ops 1 is kind of lost to those that are, like, that I think would have truly enjoyed it. That's why I do believe in, like, something like a remaster kind of thing, or not even necessarily a remaster, but more so just a reimagine of it. And yes, I guess you could say Todd Duran Toten is something like that, but I don't really compare that because it literally implements kind of too much different things. Like, it doesn't have the scavenger, you know, it doesn't even have George, you know, so like something like that's not really a reimagine. It's more so you literally destroyed the core of the map and did whatever you wanted to it. That's what you did. However, with all that being said, we are going to go ahead, turn on this, and move on to Moon. Because we are not playing Shangri-La. Because Shangri-La, we'll do this very quickly. Shangri-La is terrible, to put it very blank, I guess. Shangri-La, we gave in a 76 out of 100 right away from atmosphere and Easter egg standpoint wise. And other than that, Shangri-La is a total disappointment. Shangri-La is not fun to play. It's not fun to do challenges on. It's a beautiful map, but when you really dig into it, things feel the same. And the only highlight of the map is the Easter egg, right? And again, a lot of people, like, after it came out and people played it and were like, hey, this is a very difficult map, a lot of people did not buy it. It's still a very unplayed map. Sorry, water break there. It's still a very unplayed map across, like, worldwide because of that. Is one, you need 4 players to even do the Easter egg, and if you have any more than that, I'd rather play almost any other map than Shangri-La, at least for a one-time go or anything like that. Shangri-La would get a 26
Oh, this must be the
out of
place
100
they
for
make all the
gameplay,
apple pies.
and then a 20 out of 100 for its challenges and challenges and overall fun in that category. Meaning, that's a I was gonna say, I knew we were done as soon as I saw that other dog spawn and we got red screen. I knew we were done from the start. But we're gonna move on to Moon, or I guess Shangri-La had 122 points. Again, out of 300. Worst map of all 10 of them that we are talking about. But we are going to talk about a better map. For sure. A whole 63 points higher. This map, again, does not hit into the 200s. It is the third... I don't know why I was saying third. As it's the fifth best map. 5 out of 10, literally dead in the center of maps, is Moon. And here's why. Moon, again, had 62% of the points allotted, so almost 2/3 of the points. 2/3 would actually be 200, but 185, I think, is still pretty good.
We must get to the teleporter.
Can we get just... No, of course not. We can go ahead and maybe hit this, though. That's decent. Be able to maybe restock some ammo once we get so we go from a one that we had like 2,300 points right from the get-go.
I could use some help here.
We gotta focus a little bit. So, Moon, again, just recently kind of went through this map, honestly. And as we mentioned before, Moon, again, 185 total points.
No matter how many you send, I will prevail.
Get out of here, zombies.
Touch me, minion.
Now we can focus on... Alright, we have enough for at least pack a punch. Is good. We love blowing ourselves up with a grenade. So Moon, for its atmosphere and Easter egg, gets an 80, which again, kind of right in the middle of the map. You either kind of enjoy the low gravity and all that stuff, or you really don't. I think just the fact that you're on the moon, the Easter egg is what really carries this whole situation. Again, though, it loses a lot of points. This map, if you take away the RNG aspect for the Easter egg, meaning there's a better way to get the wonder weapon, and maybe there's a buyable for QEDs. And maybe the only thing you have to really RNG is if you want the potential rate or wave gun faster or luckier in sense, or you get the Gersh devices some other way. Like I think you have to take away one of them, or you make the QEDs and the Gersh devices. They are two things you have to do in either order, and you only need one of them. Meaning you teleport something with Gersh devices, and then the QEDs can also be used first on something else, or vice versa. You can, Gersh device this thing first, and then QEDs, or QED then Gersh device. Like, I feel like there shouldn't have been something where you need Gersh devices, QEDs, then Gersh devices, because solo play just sucks. Or make it to where solo, certain things you just don't have to do, just like Call of the Dead, which again kind of just makes no sense that you have that component in Call of the Dead where you don't have to do certain things, but then in Moon you make it to where you have to do everything by the book pretty much. I don't necessarily think we're gonna stick.
Now is not the time to dilly-dally.
I don't think we're gonna stick around too much. Honestly though, like, what else are we gonna do? Like, that's my only thing is, what, we're gonna go to the moon? Ain't nobody wanna do that. Pretty sure if we didn't, like, slide and jump there, that was enough. Plenty of points. Very nice, very nice. We just want to kind of get these. Nice.
Come to the doctor.
Alright.
Oh, surrounded by undead. They never learn. Without the bullets, I will start stabbing. Ah! Stabbing! You cannot have it. It is mine.
Okay.
I had a spleen for every second I waited for this infernal machine. I would have at least. Oh, I love the looks of this.
Alright. Well.
Oh my! I could use some help here! It all comes down to this. All the plan, all the work, thousands of bodies.
Yeah, we need to go get that anyway. Gameplay. We give it 40. The third lowest in Black Ops 1. Again, you kind of like it or you don't, or you appreciate it or you don't. This is very a toss-up, kind of coin toss kind of thing. It's not great. Like, I wouldn't put Moon up there as a solid map. It's good atmospherically, great for Easter egg. Takes a lot of notes from like Shangri-La when it comes to gameplay and some bad things with it, but does the Easter egg is really good, all that stuff. And then with challenges, again, this was a very difficult one, so I gave it pretty much the same plus as what Ascension got, which was a plus 15, giving it a 65. Again, pretty high for Black Ops 1 and definitely for Moon. Going from a 40 to a 65 is crazy. Because it's only technically 9 points lower than Call of the Dead after challenges. Still is worse than Call of the Dead in just overall gameplay, even if you did challenges on Moon, which I agree with. I'd rather play a game of Call of the Dead before I play a game of Moon, but again, in those 60s, you kind of talk yourself into it in a way. Moon, 185, like I mentioned, dead center, 5 out of 10, or 5th ranked out of 10 of all the zombie maps that we've ranked so far. We have the Giant or Doris as number 1 with 234 total points. And then right below that, you have Call of the Dead with 228 points. Literally 6 points lower is Call of the Dead. And then 6 points lower than that is Shionuma at 222. Below that is Nocturne Totem with 202. Again, a map that does atmosphere very right, and gameplay and the challenges with it are pretty mid. I mean, literally a 50 and then a 60 with those things respectively. Maps just haven't compared to it, in all honesty. Like, Noct is a perfect example of a great map atmospherically, and then literally you just play it once and pretty much are done with it because of its kind of midness to it. Below Nocturne Totem, so at number 5 is Moon at 185 total points out of 300. Below Moon at number 6 is 5, ironically. Number 6 is actually Verrucht at 179, and 1 point below that is 5 at 178. You might be like, well, it's pretty close then, who won what? Both have the same atmosphere score. Gameplay, though, for Verrucht was at a 37, where 5 had a 43, but the difference was with the challenges, they kind of evened out. Verrucht had a plus 13 on the challenges, giving it a 50 in that category, and 5 only got a 46 with a plus 6, so that's where Verrucht kind of beat it out. So at number 7 was 5 at 178 points. Number 8 comes down to... Where am I at? Oh, number 8 is Kino at 136. So a pretty big jump from 178 with 5 all the way down to 136 with Kino. And then from there, number 9, you have Ascension at 127 out of 300. And finally, the last worst map so far is Shangri-La with 122 out of 300 points, or a 41% of points. Just kind of for reference, and something I have not done yet, we're going to calculate all the scores really quick. More so, I want to see how many points 4 maps in World at War got compared to the 6 maps in Black Ops 1. I'm just kind of adding up their total scores here. I mean, theoretically, they should have more, but I'm curious on how much more. So, if you were to get 2. Give me one second here, boys. So, Black Ops 1, if you would rank this out of fun, right? World at War would give you 837 points of fun out of 1,200. So you would be in a decent time. Like, it's over half, everything's good, right? And if you put that number into, like, perspective-wise, like, oh, that seems pretty good. Like, if I play all 4 of these maps, I can experience 837 points of fun. You know, whatever you want to, however you want to describe that, right? If you were to buy Black Ops 1, and again, technically you have World at War maps in Black Ops 1 if you purchase the Moon DLC, so take for that what you wish, or what you want to, I guess. I don't think any of the maps stand up to the originals or Black Ops 3 versions. And for Black Ops 1, like Black Ops 1 versions of these maps, I think are terrible. But that's my opinion as well. I think the only one that may benefit from it is possibly Verrucht, potentially. But that's just because Black Ops 1 weapons are a little bit better than World at War, I guess. But again, doesn't really matter. When Verrucht already is one, like, not a great map. But so you get 837 points of, I guess, fun in World at War, but then you get 976 points of fun for Black Ops 1. Now, you might be like, oh, that's a no-brainer then. That's all, like 141 points more fun. If I were to buy Black Ops 1 and all the DLC for it, I get all that on top of the original 4 maps if I buy the Moon DLC, and I also get Dead Ops Arcade as well. So what would take me away from doing that? And here's my answer to it. Black Ops 1 only, on average, has 162 points of fun out of 300 in our categories here. So 162 out of 300 per map is on average, meaning you're kind of getting a halfway experience. Meaning you're, hey, thank you for the like, whoever that was. Or is. I didn't see a like before, so if you are in the stream, hello. If you already did that before, hello and goodbye, I guess. I don't know. But I appreciate the like. Black Ops 1, again, 162 points of fun out of 300 per map. That is about halfway, right? Meaning you can play any of these maps, right? And you're kind of getting a map that you play once and are kind of done and over with. Whereas World at War maps have 209 points of fun out of 300 per map. Meaning if I play Verrucht, Noct, Shinonuma, or the Giant, you're getting a much better experience. A whole 30, what would that be, 47 points of experience, whether that's in an atmosphere, an Easter egg, gameplay, or better challenge experience. Between those 3 categories that we described in this video or in this stream, that's what you'd be missing out on. You'd be missing out on 40. How much did I say? 47 points. You'd be missing out on 47 points of those experience in Black Ops 1. If you bought Black Ops 1 strictly because of this. Again, you would have a better variety of experience. I mean, I guess you would only, like, if World at War was all kind of one and done maps, then yes, obviously I would say, oh, just buy Black Ops 1 because at least your one and done maps are all different. You can experience different things, all that stuff. But the level of things that you would experience in World at War over Black Ops 1 is one of the reasons why I say Black Ops 1 is probably one of the worst Call of Duties for zombies ever. And more so because of a gameplay aspect of it, is you just get very mid maps. Moon isn't that good. Shangri-La is terrible. Call of the Dead, great. The only map that's actually, I think, worth buying and saying, oh, I played Call of the Dead and I actually enjoy it, it's because you enjoyed the map. It's a good map. Ascension, very bad map. Like, bad mechanics, bad things like that. 5, again, kind of one and done. You kind of understand Pentagon Thief, whatever, or you deal with the Pentagon Thief in the worst way of him stealing your weapon, and you're kind of over that kind of BS, and you don't want to play anymore. Kino, another very easy map, very straight to the point, kind of get over it fast, you leave it. Like, those are your options when it comes to Black Ops 1. Whereas World at War, you have the Giant / Doris that are enjoyable. You have a better high round strategy. The map just feels better. Yes, you might say, like, whoa, what's the difference of training and camping on a catwalk? There's a huge difference. Because you don't have the Thunder Gun just waiting to bail you out like you do on Kino. Doris feels more intense. The gameplay feels more intense. Shinonuma, and this is more for World at War Shinonuma, meaning, is you have a wonder weapon that can literally carry you to whatever round you want, but the early rounds are where things are interesting. Unbound, that like was me. Hey, thank you, appreciate you. Also, welcome to the stream. Also, I don't know if when you typed that, but appreciate you stopping in, my man. How are you? How are you doing today? And then Verrucht, again, Verrucht sucks, to be completely honest. I guess what we could, since we kind of ranked where the maps are totally right now, we can kind of talk about, I think, the two biggest categories for these things. Because the challenges and overall fun of the map, I think we're gonna we're gonna leave that part out for right now. We're gonna talk about the initial gameplay, so just playing it. Yeah, good. Hey, that's good to hear, my man. The initial gameplay of the maps we're going to talk about and rank, as well as the atmosphere / Easter egg category. Again, each category is out of 100, but we're going to separate these and we'll rank them that way as well. Again, if you missed the initial rankings, we don't have it written down, but I can look at it real quick. It was the Giant, so it's all there's 10 maps, so I'm just going to kind of name them off in order, unless you were already here Unbound. But the Giant was number 1, Shinonuma, I'm sorry, the Giant / Doris, Call of the Dead, Shinonuma, Knocked, Moon, trying to think, Verrucht, 5, Kino, Ascension, and then Shangri-La. That's how everything was ranked. I don't think I missed anything on that one. But now we're good. That's the total score. So we have 3 categories. Each category has 100 points allotted to it. One of them's atmosphere and Easter egg. That, again, 100 points that they can take from it. Oh man, sorry, I gotta go to sleep. No problem, man. You have a great night. We'll be here for a little while longer before we stop the stream. I still got one more. Well, I got a sip of water, and I got one more sip for when we end the stream. Never mind. Pretty much drank all the water. But we're just going to rank these as well, just to kind of get that perspective as well of things. But the biggest takeaway is things dropped off in Black Ops 1. So if you're thinking about, oh, what maps should I play? Black Ops 1 has fallen very, very steep. Except for Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead's that one lonely mountain on a completely terrible grass plain. But when we talk about atmosphere and Easter eggs, maybe rankings are different. Starts off at number 1 is Noctur and Toten. Again, isolation is literally the definition when you look up Noctur and Toten. Just kidding, but it pretty much should be. Number 2, and technically tied for 3rd as well. Well, tied for 2nd and 3rd, I guess you should say, is Verrucht and 5. Great experience with those. Fantastic. Then you got number 4 being Call of the Dead at 86 points. And then below that at number 5 is the Giant / Doris. Number 6 is Moon at 80. Number 7 is Shangri-La. Number 8 is... let me see here. Number 8 is Shinonuma at 73. And then number 9 is Kino at 46. Again, a huge tank when we get from Shinonuma down to Kino. And then finally, the worst map atmospherically is Ascension at 42. / Easter egg, if you want to consider Ascension an Easter egg. So again, the biggest takeaway there is, yes, Shinonuma is low, but there's also 2 other maps. And Shangri-La is only 3 points higher than Shinonuma. So, in all honesty, you almost have half the maps of Black Ops 1 falling short of I think the worst atmospheric map of World at War, which, with graphics and all that stuff, shouldn't happen, right? And just a better game engine as well. But the other thing is, between even like the Giant, Verrucht, and all that stuff, is you only have 3 maps that are really kind of battling with it. Moon is underneath that. You have Call of the Dead in 5 that are truly battling with it, which again, I don't find that as an issue. Like, you have 2 maps that are just really knocking out of the park. Moon is just kind of certain things on the map really hurt it. But Ascension is one of those things that it's like, well, if you're going to knock Moon down to only an 80, why would Ascension get a 42 with all that? Moon actually has an Easter egg that is earth-blowing, if that makes sense. So that's why it gets all the way up there, is the Easter egg definitely helps Moon, same way it does Shangri-La. The reason why Shangri-La tanks a little bit is the actual atmosphere of the map when you play it, things feel the same. That's why it drops down. So, again, you kind of see that World at War difference from Black Ops 1, but maybe not as much as maybe people thought. And truly not me. When I really look at it, like, yes, Ascension Kino, I knew were bad, but I kind of correlate those as some bigger maps because a lot of people played or are playing these maps right now. And like no one's playing this, and very few people are playing Moon. So it kind of makes sense. Like, well, I guess it doesn't really make sense. Anyway, we go to the gameplay portions of it, just kind of see other correlations of things. Number 1 map right now in terms of gameplay is the Giant / Doris at 72 out of 100. Then you have Shinonuma, World at War, of course, at 71, literally 1 point lower than that's at 71. And then you have, at number 3, Call of the Dead at 68. Number 4, this is where it gets interesting, is because it drops all the way down to Nocturne Toten at 50. A whole 18 points lower than Call of the Dead. We get Nocturne Toten at number 4 at 50. Number 5, we have 5 at 43. Number 6 is Kino at 42. And then number 7 is Moon at 40. Verrucht at 8 with 37. Ascension at 9 with 35. And Shangri-La at 10 with 26. This is another big one that I think kind of sucks. Because it really put me on like a weird perspective here, because you don't have a lot of good maps. And, you know, when you talk about 10 zombie maps, you think you have just all this crazy gameplay, all this like great things with it, and you don't. And that's another thing that this challenge really has brought to my attention, is there's a lot of things with these maps, like Shangri-La is just a terrible game map, or like gameplay map. It's really only good for the atmosphere and Easter egg, and that's how we ranked it as such, pretty much. Moon is great for the atmosphere and Easter egg, but the gameplay suffers so much because of some of the atmospheric choices and gameplay mechanics that they put into it. You know, Call of the Dead, you have a great atmosphere and Easter egg, and yet your gameplay matches that. You know, with a super high score or high ranking of your gameplay. Ascension, you kind of missed the ball on where your atmosphere and stuff were, and your gameplay, I think, suffered because of it, tremendously. 5, again, great atmosphere and Easter egg. I think the difficulty and unfairness kind of matches with Varrock. That's why they're pretty close in scores, in all honesty. And then you have Kino that they just kind of went as basic as possible. And again, it suffers with the gameplay of replayability and just basicness that you can honestly play and have a better time playing a round of Noct on World at War than Kino. And I believe that. However, that's it for that. We're done kind of ranking stuff here. Again, Black Ops 1, total of 976 out of, what is 6 times 300? 1,800 points. Right? Yeah, 1,800. So you have a little over, or you have 162 points. Right? 976 divided by 8. 976 divided by 18. Yeah, you have 54% of the points. So you have a little bit. You would almost play the map a little bit more than your average, like a little one and done kind of game like Noct. You might get a little bit more out of it, pretty much. But not really by much. Again, that's, I think, the 162 on average of the maps, that's kind of carried very heavily by your kind of juggernaut of Call of the Dead with its gameplay and challenges. And then the atmosphere and Easter eggs portions of the maps are kind of, they outweigh a lot of things here. Because if you look at just gameplay, I'm just kind of curious here. If you were just a person that, hey, I just want to play... Sorry, I accidentally double added. If you were just like, I just want to do a gameplay. Like, I just want to play the map. I don't care about Easter egg. I don't really care about the setting of the map. I just like getting guns, shooting zombies, whatever it might be, right? What map or what game would be better for you? World at War or Black Ops 1? So this is an interesting one, actually. This is an interesting one here. So, if you were to play World at War, you would have a gameplay, or if you were to buy World at War, you would have 230 points of gameplay value. Meaning, you know, you times that by what? Or really times, yeah, just so by 400. So you have over half of the points. Like you would have a little bit better experience. You would have a 57.5 out of 100 kind of gameplay experience by playing any World at War map. If you average things out, but you get 230 points of fun with that. But then, or a gameplay fun, I should say. Not challenges, not atmosphere, Easter egg. This is strictly gameplay. So that's 4 maps, and you get 230. With an extra 2 maps. So you get 6 maps in Black Ops 1, technically you get 4 more, being the original 4, but again, not counting that. You get 6 maps: Kino 5, Ascension, Call the Dead, Shangri-La, and Moon. All very different, if you ask me. You get only 254 points. You get only 24 more points of fun, if you want to call it, or gameplay, if you get 2 whole maps. That is, you get 42 points of gameplay per map. Meaning you have kind of the situation of you're not really setting up, you're not really experiencing the map before more than likely you go down, and you're probably not replaying that map. So you're probably going to fail on a few of the maps, and you're not even going to give it another attempt at it. Example, Shangri-La, Moon. Really, I mean, you might get what you wanted out of like Kino, Ascension. 5 is another example that you might get somewhere in the map, fall short by, hey, I think I'm set up. Oh no, I have Mustang and Sally's, Pentagon Thief stole them. Now I'm not set up anymore, and now he just keeps stealing my weapon. You would have a worse experience playing Black Ops 1 if you just went gameplay. This is just if you went gameplay. You would have, I mean, in all honesty, whenever you look at it, if you look at the total experience of zombies or just the gameplay value of zombies, World at War outshines Black Ops 1 when it comes to per map. As well as total. Well, you can't really count total because, again, you're playing 6 against 4. There's not a huge discrepancy on it, necessarily. But also enough to where it's like, that's not that good. Again, only 24 more points of gameplay by adding 2 maps on Black Ops 1 over World at War. That's not good. That's almost like, oh, you have the same experience. So you have the same experience as World at War. And then, hey, here's 2 more maps. Cool, what do they offer me? Each offer 12 points of fun. Meaning just terrible experiences. That's pretty much what this means, and it's kind of true. You have really one map that really shines in gameplay, and that's Call the Dead. Everything else is below 50. And that's not good. 42 average is literally Kino. And it makes sense because Kino, Ascension, kind of Moon, they all kind of have the same, like, oh, let's just do this, let's just do this. Call of the Dead kind of has a flow to it, too, of just, like, let's, like your basic kind of movement kind of thing with it. It just gets amplified with, the better experience and everything. But when it comes to World at War, really the bad experience is really only on Verrucht. And then, which makes sense, you don't really get set up, you don't really finish most of the time, and you don't really go back to play it after you die your first time or whatever. Nocturne Totems, kind of, you get the experience out of it, and you're done, and you might play it again maybe for another shot, or more than likely you're done. Shinonuma and Doris, again, those are maps that I feel like you can play, you get set up most of the time, and you continue playing that map. You don't quit on it. You don't, more than likely, if you die, you might just respawn right back and play another round of it. That's what I believe. Between that, the Giant, Shinonuma, and Call of the Dead, those are like really the only maps I could say, if I died on that map, I would probably give it another go. Maybe Moon, but again, I don't really truly believe that. And mostly if you die on, like, an Area 51. But, like, if you die in Area 51, more than likely you're going to give it another shot because you didn't invest a lot of time into it. But I'm talking, if you did a lot of time in Area 51, went to the moon, started doing that, and then maybe the astronaut grabs you and blows you up and maybe downs you, so you lost your jug. Well, you down, so you lost your jug and quick revive now. Do you want to continue that? Probably not. So again, World at War still outshining Black Ops 1, but I do want to talk about one other thing, and we will do a whole stream regarding this, is kind of what's next, but I just want to make this a quick topic before we end the stream, is we are going to be focusing a lot on some videos for Black Ops 6, meaning some of our old Black Ops 6 beta clips that we made. We're going to kind of trim those down, get those out. We have a couple other random clips like from Zombies, as well as this cop simulator game as well. So we'll be posting that stuff too. Black Ops 6 comes out, I think, in... Hey Siri, when does Call of Duty Black Ops 6 come out? The 25th. So we have 9 days. 9 days to kind of get through. Well, not even 9 days if you really think about it. We have more like 8 days. I'm not even gonna be able to stream a lot this weekend and stuff. But like between like next week and all that, and even up to the weekend, we're just gonna be kind of posting a lot of videos. We have a couple stream ideas that we might go with, but it's mostly, I think, going to be going against or attacking our videos right here to try getting that down, so we can hopefully then get a smooth transition into Black Ops 6 and maybe some more subscribers when we get there. But that is going to wrap it up. Again, if you guys can, hit that like button. Oh, we do have one other thing before when we kind of say what's next. I guess what we will be doing as well is a Liquid Divinium opening as well. So there is that to look forward to as well before we get into... Or we might even just do it since Black Ops 1 literally only has Origins on Black Ops 3. We might just do Liquid Divinium opening after that. Who knows? Well, we might decide that another time. However, that's going to wrap it up. If you guys can, hit that like button, comment below what else you guys want to see from our channel. And if you are new to my channel, means like you guys do hit that subscribe button. I will see you guys all next time. Peace out, and have a great